G'day, folks. Today I'm going to cover why some people invest in cryptocurrency, who the asset class is suited to, and for those that want to get started, how to get started safely, and I'll also go through what are some of the fundamentals for success in the asset class. So the reason people get into cryptocurrency is for the gains, and anyone who suggests otherwise is being disingenuous with you. And really, the use case of crypto comes in immediately when you assess the flaws of fiat currency. So, whether you're in the Australian dollar like myself, whether you're in the US dollar, the euro, doesn't matter what currency you're in, the same problem applies universally with all fiat currencies. So, if you put your money in the bank, you're earning a negligible rate of interest. The rate of inflation far exceeds that rate of interest you're earning. And then on top of that as well, your money or your fiat currency, it's losing buying power every year. Where cryptocurrency differs is that you don't actually have to lose buying power over time. Oftentimes, you're actually gaining buying power and earning a rate of interest exceeding the rate of inflation. And within cryptocurrency, to explore the types that have really made substantial gains against fiat currency and why that's been the case, well, to look at Bitcoin, which is the largest market cap coin as we speak. So with Bitcoin, well, what are the advantages against fiat currency? Well, it has a maximum supply of 21 million, so there will be never more than 21 million ever created. Whereas with fiat currency, well, there will never be a ceiling, or at least as it's set up at this point in time, as to what the maximum supply would be. So when you've got a capped supply versus an ever-inflating supply, well, naturally, Bitcoin is assuming there's going to be continued adoption and interest in using Bitcoin. It's highly likely to continue making gains against fiat currency over time, you would assume, based on that factor. And the additional advantage of a Bitcoin compared to a fiat currency is, well, every 4 years there's a halving event where the rate of inflation actually halves. So if that's going to keep happening every 4 years, which it's set into the code and it will assuredly continue happening, well, again, that's the secondary advantage that it has. So, and look, a lot of that with Bitcoin is priced in. It's a well-known enough product where, really those that know about cryptocurrency, they know about those tokenomic advantages with Bitcoin. So, yeah, it is in large part priced in, but nonetheless, well, if you've got fiat currencies where, look, there's no maximum supply and it's going to continue inflating versus a Bitcoin where, look, the rate of inflation keeps dropping off over time, and then you've got a fixed supply where once it reaches that point where 21 million are being created, well, there's no more. So naturally, well, Bitcoin has outperformed fiat currencies, and in all likelihood, based on those tokenomic advantages, probably will continue to, in all likelihood. As well as having cryptocurrencies where you've actually got a maximum supply, well, we've now got deflationary cryptocurrencies as well. So if we take Ethereum, which is the number 2 cryptocurrency in terms of total market cap at this stage. Well, with Ethereum, now that it's changed from proof of work to proof of stake, it's actually become a deflationary cryptocurrency. And one where even despite actually having a supply that is reducing, you can actually earn interest on it as well. So for me, given that, well, it's actually got favorable tokenomics to Bitcoin, and that's part of the reason why I've actually got a position in Ethereum. Because if you've got something that is deflating in supply over time, but you're earning interest on it, well, gee whiz, that's going to be doing way better than any fiat currency out there. And it's also, in all likelihood, assuming, again, continued adoption and rate of usage on the Ethereum network, well, it's highly likely to not only outperform fiat currencies, but presumably also outperform Bitcoin in terms of the total scope for gains over time. So as well as having cryptocurrencies where you've got a maximum supply and others that are deflationary, but you can also earn a yield on it, well, you've also got cryptocurrencies where you've got a pretty mild rate of inflation, but then you've got really high rates of interest. So for me, in that category, Hex is the standout of all the opportunities. So with Hex, you've got a fixed rate of inflation, which is 3.69%. And if you were to do a maximum stake of 5,555 days, so you're time locking your funds for that period of time, well, you can be earning even a little bit exceeding 36% APY. So to be really getting that sort of performance, and in a period of about 1.5 years, it did a 10,000x. in terms of actual price appreciation before the rate of interest you're earning per year. Well, again, they're the sort of things that can happen in cryptocurrency. And it really shouldn't be surprising, again, when you compare the far superior tokenomics in the case of a lot of these cryptocurrencies to basically the hyperinflating fiat currencies where, look, you're always losing buying power. And to quickly cover some of those core fundamentals with cryptocurrency that really makes an effective project, so you want those really favorable tokenomics where you don't have silly inflation rates and you really want to have a rate of interest that really exceeds that rate of inflation to really be making substantial gains over time. But as well as that, you really want favorable supply and demand factors to really help that price pump. And you also really want quite a large and enthusiastic community. So if you've got those factors, well, there's some of the fundamentals to look at to really find a cryptocurrency with scope to really go up many multiples against their fiat currency counterparts. And before starting your crypto investing journey, it's really important to consider whether as an asset class it fits your risk profile and also whether it has the scope to allow you to achieve whatever your financial objectives are. So with cryptocurrency, it's really important to be aware that it's an incredibly volatile asset class. So we saw our peaks in 2021, and then it's highly likely that we've seen the bottom at the very end of 2022. And with a lot of cryptocurrencies, and this includes very good ones, and in a lot of cases, your blue chip cryptocurrencies, well, you've seen a lot of them go down 60, 70, 80, 90, 95%, 99% even in some instances, go down from peak. So if you're not comfortable with that sort of price volatility, well, cryptocurrency is probably not the asset class for you. But those that can really recognize, well, at those depressed prices, what are really those really strong cryptocurrencies that will have substantial sticking power over the course of at least the next cycle, if not really over the long term? Well, they're ultimately going to be those big winners at the end of that cycle that can really take those profits. So highly likely the next peak will come in at some point in 2025. Based on what has really been over the course of the history of cryptocurrency, really continued 4-year cycles. So there's some of the things to be aware of. So given the price volatility of crypto, it's really important to never invest more than you're willing to lose, because on any given cryptocurrency, and this will be the case with the vast majority of cryptos, well, it's highly likely to go to zero or very near zero. So that's a real reality you have to be aware of. And also if there's a specific time period where, look, you're going to plan to extract your cryptocurrency, well, again, that would be, I guess, a methodology that I would also consider very risky, because ultimately you might put your money in today and want to take it out 2 years from now. Well, there's no guarantee during that time period it's going to go up, even if it's a good cryptocurrency. So it's really important that if you put your funds into cryptocurrency, that you've got an incredibly long time horizon and there's no particular time period that you need to take your funds out by for a very specific reason, because there's no guarantees in cryptocurrency as in any market. Why I invest in cryptocurrency and what makes it a viable investment for me is because I'm in a situation where I've got zero debt and I've got a good amount of cash flow and I've really got that cash flow foundation. So that really allows me to really just dollar cost average into particular crypto projects that I really rate quite highly and consider to be substantially undervalued. And look, for me, they're quite likely to be long-term holds, though I'm quite likely as well, if we do happen to see substantial gains at some point in 2025, well, highly likely I'll be taking profits. So for me, that's my approach. And really, I guess if you've got that risk profile where you're debt-free, you've got a long-term time horizon, there's no urgent need to take funds out of crypto, well, for a very quick and dirty feel, they're the types of people that cryptocurrency as an asset class is well suited to. So for those of you who are still here and have decided, yep, I want to get into crypto, well, the first step you need to undertake, in my opinion, is to get educated. So whether it's subscribing to people on YouTube and watching through a lot of YouTube clips, whether it's following some key personalities on Twitter, whether it's reading some articles about crypto, or whether it's reading some crypto books, well, there's some of the things that you could do to get educated. So for me personally, the best person in crypto to get behind is Richard Hart. So you can subscribe to him on YouTube and you can follow him on Twitter. But my top tip with Richard would be, well, with his YouTube, I would go through his oldest video and work through to his newest. And the fundamentals that you can learn from him are second to none. So if you watch through his stuff, well, basically he teaches you how not to get wrecked. And he also, everything he teaches, he does so in the most memorable of ways. So his personality will not connect with everyone, but I would say regardless of that, persist with him because everything he says is gold. So that's really the essential thing there with Richard. And the second person I would suggest getting behind is Adam Stokes. So for me, he's the most reputable person in crypto. And fundamentally, he just wants to get to the truth behind things. So you can subscribe to him on YouTube and, again, follow him on Twitter. So they're the two I would start with, and you can work out from there. So in terms of looking at, well, what projects do I get into? How would I know what to look into? Well, my tip would be look at some of the largest market cap projects first and really, I guess, do some learning around, well, why are they valuable? Why are people demanding these? Why are they such high market cap coins? So you'd start with your Bitcoins, Ethereums, and work your way out from there. And it's also useful to be aware of, well, what's the point of stable coins as well? Because that's also useful. And I'd also say as well, don't just buy what one person you follow is recommending. Really get a broad range of opinions. Because ultimately, one person isn't necessarily going to be the foremost authority and get every call right. So it's really important to get that diverse range of opinions to really, I guess, help you out in determining, well, is this project worthwhile for me? Does it fit into my financial objectives and allow me to achieve whatever it is that I would like to achieve long term? And I'd also suggest with any cryptocurrency you're looking at, well, you really need to figure out, well, what's the maximum supply? What's the rate of inflation? If it's something that you can earn a rate of interest or get staking rewards from, well, you need to know those details as well. You need to understand, well, are the tokenomics good? And based on the tokenomics, is it likely, if assuming a reasonable amount of adoption over time, is it likely to be making gains against fiat currency? Because again, crypto is all about the gains. So once you've determined which cryptocurrencies you'd like a position in, you need to consider, well, what exchange am I going to sign up to? And it's usually a good idea to have access to multiple exchanges, because ultimately with exchanges, we've had some exchanges fail over time. Some exchanges might delist a particular coin that you might want to position in. So my personal tip would be to be connected to 2 exchanges at least. So but yeah, so the big 2, you've got Binance and you've got Coinbase. So they're the 2 largest in the world. For relative advantages and disadvantages of them, well, Binance, you'll find that the trading fees are cheapest. So for all the special features, it's quite a good place, but you'll find that the level of complexity is higher. But there are more coins that you can stake on Binance if indeed you need to stake on a trading platform for whatever reason. And with Coinbase, I'd say it's probably relatively the easier to use of the 2. And you can also do various learning tutorials on each to make a bit of money. And for Binance, if you sign up, well, then you'll get some trading fee discounts. And with Coinbase, you'll get $10 US worth of Bitcoin for signing up. And for Australians, although you can sign up to both Binance and Coinbase as well, if you're looking for a really simple experience, CoinSpot is a really good place for it. So you can get, for signing up, $10 Australian worth of Bitcoin. And really, again, it's just really simple to use. It's easy to stake cryptocurrencies. And for those that want to buy positions in Ethereum and stake on the centralized platform, it actually provides liquid staking as well for Ethereum, which is favorable to basically on other exchanges that Ethereum staking is available, where you really need to, I guess, keep the funds locked in. So that's, I guess, some of the advantages with CoinSpot. But very easy to use, and honestly, I'd say probably CoinSpot is the more reputable. I do have some concerns around Binance, where there's been various issues, such as, for me, one of the cryptocurrencies I've been buying a position in during January is ICP. Fortunately for me, I was able to, so that's Internet Computer. So fortunately for me, I was able to get it into the NNS, which is the place where you can stake the Internet Computer. But for those that recently wanted to move their Internet Computer from the exchange, they haven't been able to, because Binance basically weren't in a position to be able to allow people to withdraw their internet computer just because they didn't have sufficient internet computer holdings on hand. So again, there's some of the reasons you might want to be on multiple exchanges, and also on a Binance. Again, even though it has the cheapest trading fees, which probably makes it the most practical place to buy most of your cryptocurrency. Well, let's say you wanted to buy USDC, which is a stable coin, and if you wanted to buy into Hex, the largest trading pair for Hex, well, you haven't been able to buy any USDC on Binance. So I'd need to go on to whether it's a Coinbase, a CoinSpot, or somewhere else to buy USDC. So again, there's some of the reasons why you might want to be on a few different exchanges potentially. And for your convenience, I've left in the description below links to Binance, Coinbase, and CoinSpot. So if you sign up to Binance, well, you get trading fee discounts. On Coinbase, you'll get $10 worth in US dollars of Bitcoin. And on CoinSpot, you'll get $10 in Australian dollar terms of Bitcoin. So, and if you sign up through those links, well, for full, as a disclaimer, well, I also get the exact same bonus. So, yeah, that helps both you and I. But ultimately, a couple of words of caution as well. For those that use affiliate links, oftentimes you'll be benefiting the person who really, I guess, the link belongs to, but you might not be getting the bonus yourself. So that's something to be aware of, because I've been caught out by that in the past when signing up for a few exchanges and I got nothing from it. So I found that to be quite disappointing, honestly. So that's one reason you might choose to join via a link such as mine, a referral link such as mine, as opposed to an affiliate link. And also, I would say that if you're searching for these trading platforms via Google, one thing I'd say again to be aware of is oftentimes you'll find search results that aren't actually the trading platform you're looking for. So whether it's Binance, whether it's Coinbase, whether it's CoinSpot, there are nefarious links out there that do try and impersonate the actual websites. So if you were to be on one of these, I guess, nefarious websites, well, you might sign up, put in all your details, you might deposit your funds, yet you might lose those funds and basically get rug pulled. So my tip would be, even if you want to use someone else's referral link or affiliate link, that's completely fine. But make sure you're actually going to the correct website is the word of warning I'd have. And also, I would suggest once you know you're on the correct website, please bookmark it for future reference so that you do make sure you're actually going to the correct website, because it's very easily, if you're just searching through Google, to end up on an incorrect fake website. So please take note. The next point I have to make about cryptocurrency is self-custody and how important it is. So if you're looking to invest more than a few dollars, my suggestion would be buying a hardware wallet. So to be specific, the most popular in the space are made by Ledger and Trezor. And the reason for self-custody is over time we've had exchanges that have gone bust, or you've had exchanges that have lost the funds of the customers. So it's really important on that basis to self-custody your funds and keep track of your own keys so that basically you don't lose the money that you've either put into crypto or alternatively that you've gained over time. That's really important. And in the description below, I've left links to the Ledger and Trezor websites for a rough feel as to which models might be suitable. So the Ledger Nano X is a good option for those that are looking to buy a number of cryptocurrencies. And then with the Trezor, I'd say probably the Trezor Model T would be the best bet, again, if you're looking to build a fairly substantial portfolio. But with that said, if you're looking to be as simplistic as just buying a bit of Bitcoin, just buying a bit of Ethereum and just leaving it there, not buying anything else, well, there are cheaper models of Ledger and Trezor as well that you can buy that would be more than sufficient for those purposes. And the other tip I would have if you are to buy either a Ledger or Trezor hardware wallet is to actually buy through their actual website. So that's why I've left a link in the description below. So again, as with the exchanges, well, you can have fake websites for both Ledger and Trezor. And additionally as well, if you're to buy from other websites, look, you could have crypto wallets that have already been opened and they've already got copies of your keys, and then they can basically steal whatever funds you put on there. So you've got that risk. And same story if you buy secondhand, which is even more risky and something I would say do not do under any circumstances. Because again, you can have someone who has kept the keys from their previous Ledger or Trezor wallet and then again just steal all your funds and put it into their own wallets. So basically it's essential that you use the correct websites for both Ledger and Trezor. So yeah, heed my advice. And for those of you that do want to self-custody your funds, but at the same time don't want to pay the cost for a hardware wallet from either Ledger or Trezor or some other company potentially, if you find another hardware wallet that's good, well, basically the option there would be going the software wallet route. So depending on the cryptocurrencies you're in, you'll need different software wallets. And yeah, so one I will link in the description below because it's highly likely you'll probably need to use it in the future, is MetaMask. So with MetaMask, you can store your Ethereum or any sort of tokens that appear on Ethereum. You can store your Binance, so BNB, Polygon, Avalanche, Pulse Chain, when that launches, can go on there too, and any tokens associated with that. So yeah, basically, look, MetaMask is really probably one of the larger, if not the largest, of the software wallets. Not compatible with everything. If you want to, I don't know, whether it's storing Cardano, whether it's storing Internet Computer, well, you'll have to look at other ways of storing those other cryptocurrencies because, yeah, not everything is compatible with MetaMask specifically. And there's no software wallet, certainly that I'm aware of, that can store every single cryptocurrency. So do be aware of that. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description below with MetaMask because look, if you go to Chrome extensions, you'll find all these fake versions of MetaMask. So it's essential that you use the correct version or you'll lose your funds. And to give you a rough feel for not only the importance of self-custody, but also when to keep funds on an exchange versus when to put it on, whether it's a hardware wallet or software wallet, basically I'll use an exchange so much as basically I'll put in some basically lowball buy orders where basically if the price of a various crypto goes down, well then that'll mean that I'll pick up some of that cryptocurrency, and when that happens, well, I'll just move it onto my hardware wallet. So that's how I conduct myself, because ultimately if my funds are on a hardware wallet, I know it's safe, and I can also, on the cryptocurrencies that I'm in, I can get really good staking rewards. So they're the advantages for me of doing that. And look, if I was to keep my funds on a centralized exchange, well, we've seen too many crypto trading platforms go down in the last year or two to really feel that that's a safe option. So to name a few, so you've had FTX, BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager. So when those sorts of things happen and people lose their funds, well, there's no guarantee when those platforms collapse that you'll get any of your funds back. Or if you do, it might just be a small percentage of what you put on there. So there's some of the dangers. And again, as I believe I've mentioned before, well, again, you can basically still lose the funds from your account and just get hacked. So whereas if you've got a hardware wallet, well, basically you'd need your hardware wallet connected up to be able to basically approve a transaction. So really, if you've got your funds on a hardware wallet, people aren't able to steal your funds, assuming you've actually bought correctly and bought through the Ledger or Trezor websites respectively, where you've got the new hardware wallets that no one else would have the access to the keys of. And even if you're a big trading platform, whether you're a Binance, whether you're a Coinbase, doesn't matter. There's still risks associated with it. So, and the saying in crypto goes, and this is one of the most important sayings to really understand and appreciate, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you've got your funds on an exchange, well, it's not your crypto because you don't have the keys that access or control that crypto. So they're the reasons why you certainly want either a hardware wallet or software wallet. So yeah, basically anything you've got on an exchange, well, you really need to be comfortable losing that because that's the risk you're playing by storing your funds on an exchange. And I'd also say with centralized exchanges, they're perfectly fine for buying cryptocurrencies and then moving off. But also the other thing is when you want to eventually take profits, well, what you'd typically do is you'd move your funds back onto the exchange, convert it back to fiat, and then from there you can just get it back into your bank account. So look, there is still a purpose for centralized exchanges, but storing your funds on there is not really the reason you should be using it. It's really just basically to get in, get out. And one other thing to be aware of with cryptocurrency is that it's highly likely wherever you live that there will be taxation consequences for being involved in crypto. So whether you're earning staking rewards, whether selling, they're among examples where you will be taxed. So fortunately for us that are making profits in some way, shape, or form, well, there is actually taxation software that helps you. One of which that I've used is Coinly. So I'll leave a link in the description so that you can use that. But basically, what you can do, you can connect up the centralized exchanges you're in, you can connect up your software wallets, and you can connect your hardware wallets up. And then basically, Coinly just automatically compiles all that information to complete your taxation for you. And it does this amongst many different countries and many different tax codes. So yeah, it's a way to get your taxes done without having to do it manually. And particularly as you build a large portfolio and have lots of transactions happening, well, it is really highly, highly advised to use something like a Coinly. So yeah, link in the description below for that as well. And if you have any questions around cryptocurrency, please leave it in the comments section below. I'm more than happy to get back to you. And if there's any requests as well for future crypto videos, whether it's going through some of the cryptocurrencies with the best tokenomics or some of those that I believe have the scope even to overtake Bitcoin in market cap terms in the future or make the largest gains over the next such and such number of years, let me know because I have the crypto knowledge to be able to create more crypto videos in the future. But yeah, anyway, folks, see you in the next video.